Mr. Beer League Bum, thank you for joining us for this documentary on the Warrior Novium. But I just want to preface this by saying, a 7-goal game in over 40s to win 7-6. Man, the other team must have hated you. And some might even say it's a bit douchey. So fill us in on that first game and what you thought of the Novium. Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It was fun shooting this documentary, actually. So, 7-goal game. I wasn't really expecting that. No slapshot league to begin. And, the Novium still had some very good shot power on snapshots, struggled with the wristers. But, I must say the team was not exactly happy that I put up 7 goals to win 7-6 for my team. But it was awesome. So, I get a lot of, chirps and stuff, but is what it is. When your team's not scoring and you get the chances, you put them in. So, the Novium served me well. For this documentary, I'm going to be going over, shot power, the release, durability, field weight, and balance, the usual Burma stuff, putting it on the tier list and giving you guys the feedback. And I also heard that we have some takes from a few industry insiders who are the top of the hockey influencer industry. So super looking forward to it. Let's rock it. Okay, so the first question I think everybody wants answered is why Beer League Bum hockey reviews?
Yes, why Beer League Bum Hockey? Well, basically, I've been playing Beer League now for, 15 years. And the one thing I didn't want to get chirped for is talent or skill, so I made it ironic, Beer League Bum Hockey. So that way, if somebody said I was garbage, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a Beer League Bum. And then if somebody said I was good, it'd be like overrating me. And then it would work kind of perfect. So I was trying to avoid the chirps as best I could.
Makes perfect sense. So I guess you're 40 years old. Totally makes sense on the Beer League Bum style of things. You're pretty much old AF, as they would say, those young kids. Tell us more about why you started this channel.
Yeah, so I started this channel because, I was always looking for gear reviews, and I'd run into, Mod Squad Hockey and a few forums like Reddit, and, there was at least some decent information there, but then you would run into all these hockey influencers, and, you're getting definitely sponsored reviews. People were getting handed gear and basically like the Bauer sling and being like, this stick is amazing, and then when I went and picked it up, it was the most garbage dumpster fire stick I've ever used. So I was just like, you know what? People aren't doing this right. I need to do this differently. I love hockey gear. I always buy it anyway. I'm like, I might as well post some real reviews, actual feedback from me personally, and just kind of see where it went.
So lately, you've kind of given the influencer industry a lot of slack. You kind of crapped on them a little bit. A lot of people like it. A lot of people hate it. What is a hockey influencer? Like, what is a stick review? What is an equipment review? What do they owe the audience? Maybe you could share why you're kind of going down this path this time instead of kind of your traditional stick reviews.
Yeah, I've started to kind of crap on the influencer industry now because, to be honest, I can't buy every piece of gear. So I would like to look for something and get a good, decent review on, and you just can't really find it. So unfortunately, it is what it is. But the other thing is, they owe transparency. And, with the exception of maybe one person out there, nobody says they got given the gear. And if you're not purchasing your own gear, you cannot be objective. And if you're not using it for a long set amount of time and you're not giving information, say durability, how long it lasted, and in comparison to the many other things that there are out there, you cannot give a real stick review. So for me, it needs to be authentic, and there has to be transparency and integrity. And if you can't do that, why are you even in this industry doing reviews?
I'd find these reviews talking about, the graphics of the stick, like we're all blind or something and can't subjectively make a decision on if these graphics are okay for us. Or they talk about how it has the bevel taper or how it has this minus carbon 25. Like, this stuff is all available from the manufacturer. We want to know how it actually performs. We don't care that it has the bevel taper. Does it do what it's intended to do? Does it have durability? Does it actually shoot better than the other sticks out there? Is it lighter? Does it feel good with the grip, the rounded corners? These types of things. So, if you can't do that stuff, I'm not really sure what to say. And my biggest problem with the influencers out there is they're just not being that transparent and giving that information. So for us right now, I want to see that happen, and I'm going to continue to kind of crap on them until they do better so that I can enjoy reviews for other stuff that I can't buy.
Another sick 3 goals, Mr. Bum. But we better give these guys something to actually, progress the review forward in terms of the stick. So why don't we talk about shot power, and then let's bring in some guests who can also start chatting about the Novium and kind of compare your thoughts to theirs to give everybody the most transparent and across the board review we possibly can. I know, right? Those are all wrist shots too. Yeah, I guess you're probably right. We should probably touch on some ratings. So let's go with shooting first because, the Novium, it is a mid-kick stick, so it's tiered for slap shots, and it does excel at slap shots for sure. It has a very heavy release. When you get a hold of one, it seems to just pick up speed and just it hurts. I've taken down a couple goalies before, just hitting them in the chest, and it brings it there. Wrist shots though, it's very stiff in the taper. And because of that, the wrist shots on this are just way, way down. So we're gonna go with slap shot, shooting 4 out of 5. But this is not a wrist shot stick. So if you are the quick release guy, wrister, this is not the stick for you. The release on this, we'll touch on that later in the video, is not good.
Give you guys an idea, I blow the goalie stick out of his hand here. Unreal slap shot power, blowing the goalie stick out of his hand. Pretty crazy. So before we get into a few other takes from some other influencers on the Novium, would you consider yourself a hockey influencer? Gotta hate that word, influencer. I don't even know where that came from, but you can't even be an influencer in this community unless you're providing good information and helping the hockey community. How is Pavel Barber, an influencer, helping the hockey community, running over bloody dummies and mannequins on the ice and making hilarious, stupid videos? Like, the guy's an excellent hockey player, so, make some real content. How is it that Nasher is an influencer when he's playing NHL 2022 instead of actually helping anybody? When's the last time those guys actually released a video that actually helps? And when they do, it's, on the sponsored products that they have. So I really can't stand that word influencer. I'm just a guy here sharing my experience with gear. I'm not trying to influence or sell anything. We got to get away from this entertainment is influencing. If you're influencing, that means you're a leader. You're leading, you're helping people, you're moving them in a direction and helping them come to a conclusion on something, and getting them to the next level, be better, provide information. There's no way that some of these guys are influencers in providing anything. So I'm kind of done with that whole section of things. I'm just going to keep doing my thing. But at the same time, I'll call this stuff out when I see it because I like to have fun with it.
We have some good news from you in terms of that. We are going to actually reach out to a bunch of hockey influencers and get their take on the Warrior Novium. And we're going to start by reaching out right now to hockeyinformation.usa. Pat, he is providing some information. The challenge was, though, he sent us a 45-minute video of him shooting in his basement and his hands. So we cut it down, but let's run that footage right now.
When you're shooting in your house on laminate against a dog bed, I must say that you can really gauge how a stick performs. There's no need to take this on the ice and show any footage of you using it on the ice. Definitely downstairs is the way to go. And when you're done, you definitely have an accurate depiction of how this stick shoots.
What's going on, guys? It's Pat from hockeyinformation.usa. I'm just reviewing the Warrior Novium. As you can see, it has the bevel taper. There it is right there. And it's got red on it. Novium. As you can see, this does nothing. Okay, I was not expecting that. Thank you, Pat, for that plethora of information. Beer League Bum, let's talk about release. You mentioned it earlier. I feel like this stick kind of doesn't really excel, but can you touch on that for us? So in terms of release, this is actually one of the lowest stick releases, right up there with the Ultrasonic from Bauer Supreme. The really stiff taper here really lags the release. It just does not move. This is quite long, actually, and it really lags the release, and it's actually rating for me, one of the lowest ever, is a 2 out of 5. And here's the problem that everybody is going to have with this stick. This is a full length stick. I do not cut this down. What happens if you cut this down 3 or 4 inches to here, and now you're holding at the actual bevel? Your release is going to be absolutely terrible. So if you are the guy looking for a release, this is not the stick for you. This is a defenseman, one-timer, slap shot guy like me from the point. This is not a release heavy stick. It is slow as molasses, and unfortunately, it just did not perform. I feel like they could have done something different with this, but this is what they came up with. So you're gonna get the big shot power on the slappers and snapshots, but your release is gonna be way down. 2 out of 5. That's really disappointing to hear, but I could see it with the bevel being so long. The release is going to move way up the shaft of the stick, and yeah, if you cut it and you're holding way low, it's going to be really slow. Let's get another take though, because generally speaking, we get a different opinion here from a different influencer. So let's bring in Timmy from Hockey Tutorship. He's got some information for us.
Timmy, it's great to have you on this documentary on the Warrior Novium. I know you had 3 minutes with the stick, and we wanted to get your feedback on it. So first question, how was picking corners with it?
Thanks for having me. You know I struggle with corners, so it's hard to hit both with the stick. So I'd appreciate if we do a different question.
Right. How was the release, in your opinion?
Just an unreal joke. It's just a joke.
Durability?
It's just a joke.
Feel, weight, balance?
Joke. It's the best way to describe it. It's a joke.
How would you compare it to other sticks?
Well, to start, it's no Trigger 7, and it's better than the Agent. And we all know that the Agent is just terrible, and the Trigger 7 is the best stick ever made. You know what you really should be doing is trashing the Agent, upping the Trigger 7 Pro, and getting rid of this Novium.
As always, it's great to hear that you hate the Agent and you love the Trigger 7 Pro. Unfortunately, this was a Novium review, but thank you anyway. It was great to have you on the show, and take care.
See what I mean? Maggie the goalie is a dog on Instagram that's a better hockey influencer than these guys. Anyway, we should probably talk about the feel, weight, and balance. I'm not going to bang a puck on the blade, but it is very pingy, and it does rattle your hands a lot. Unfortunately, this whole section is not very forgiving. So if you're the pingy, kind of stiff blade type of guy, again, not your style of stick. I really feel like they should have put a dampened blade on this. It would have just made all of everything they were trying to accomplish a little bit better. Let the stick load longer, because of the bevel and all that. So unfortunately, very pingy blade. Now, you've got a nice grip, which is much better than the LX Pro, I must say. But again, you got another loss here in the weight. It's weighing 385 grams, which is a decent weight. But Warrior actually acknowledges at 360. So again, why is this such a challenge for everybody? Now it is a 61-inch stick at 385, so when I cut it down, it is a little bit there. But again, they should be weighing these at their 60 or their full length, and not kind of misleading the marketing. So it's a little bit upsetting. So in terms of feel, weight, and balance with the pingy blade, it rattles your hands a little bit. You got better grip. But unfortunately, the weight is not what is advertised. We're going to go 3 out of 5.
Next up, we got Swiggy G from Demotivate02. And we just wanted to get your take to throw in the documentary on what you thought of the Warrior Novium. How was it for stick handling?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I find when we stick handle around stuff that we throw out of cars on the street and disrupt a whole neighborhood for views, we generally get, kids at our Elevate hockey camps. But how the Novium performed with the stick handling, usually we do it in the back of a car, throwing stuff. So it was much easier to do. Right. I feel like your stick reviews leave a little bit, to be desired, because you're a sponsored athlete. Can you touch on that a little bit? You know us, we're excellent hockey players and we actually have good kid camps and stuff like that. Why we do stick reviews for sponsored stuff that we do, I have no idea. Maybe we should just stop doing that. What are your final thoughts on the Novium here as we wrap it up with you? And again, thanks for coming. I mean, it's no Bauer sling if that's what you mean, or agent. But the sling's definitely better. I struggled to hit, caps off of bottles, Michigans. I struggled with clappers 3 feet in front of the goalie. I struggled with copying Zach Bell and doing a lot of this stuff, when I'm going against goalies one-on-one in a scripted fashion. All right, well, we actually just got True Cruise information, so let's just throw that up real quick. For some reason, that seems about right. Okay, let's carry on. Perhaps we should give them some real information here. Let's finish up this review with durability. Do you want to touch on that? Yeah, it's best we kind of finish this up, eh? I'm going to go with a 4 on durability for a number of reasons. The first one is the bevel taper. The bevel taper is extremely strong. I have a number of chips on this from actually blocking shots or just turning around and getting drilled with a puck in the stick. And I was surprised there's 2 on here that hit really hard slap shots, and the stick survived. And back in the day with Warriors HD1 LX Pro, if you took a shot off the shaft and then shot right after, your stick was toast. So that's the first reason. The second is this is not 360 grams as advertised. It's 385. And some of them I've even seen a couple of people wearing them 390, etc. So with more material comes more weight. And I put this through the ringer as I usually do. I've played about 12 games now with it, and it's lasted pretty good. So for a top end stick, 4 out of 5 durability. And that brings me to the final rating, which is 13 out of 20. Here is the stick tier list. Unfortunately, it still is at the bottom because it is a one-trick pony type of stick with the slappers, bad release and all that. So, that's the overall review, guys. 13 out of 20 on the stick tier list. Slap shots only. If that's your thing, if that's your shtick and all you do is take slappers, this is definitely the stick for you. But unfortunately, Warrior, I'm thinking this will probably be discontinued sooner than later.
What a journey, my friend. It was great to get some other influencers' opinion. Maybe they'll make fun of you for once. I'd love to see it. Can only imagine what people would come up with. Should we do some clips, finish this up? Maybe you talk over the overlay of all the last highlights that you got? Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a sick idea. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still good to see some goals and have some fun with it. Roll it.
First, guys, almost nobody makes it this far, but for those who did, I just wanted to thank everybody for 2,000 subscribers. It's been an honor the last year developing this channel, and that I hope I continue to get the support to test more gear. I know it's kind of divided people in terms of just making fun of the influencers, etc. But let's expect more from the industry and see how it goes. And in the meantime, we'll be doing a giveaway soon at 2,000 subs. So I need to gather what I'll be giving away and look for that announcement. And of course, there's a bunch more sticks coming out next year. LX2 Pro, new Catalyst, and all sorts of stuff. So prepare for those. And again, thanks for 2,000 subs. Thanks for watching.